All right, so when you come in, where do you start turning things on? You start with the TriCaster,
Actually, I start in the radio room itself.
Then let's do that.
All right, so we normally turn the cameras on because sometimes the TriCaster doesn't pick up the cameras unless you turn them on first.
Does everyone have keys that will need them to the radio room, or will you always be
There's a code to the radio room.
Okay.
So we'll get that taken care of.
Whoever needs it, as long as you have it.
So,
okay, so in the radio room, what do you
all you're doing is turning these cameras on. There's a little button right here. It's a little silver button. You turn the cameras on, and then
just hold it down until it fires up.
I'll do one just so you can see. So that's off, and if you just hold it down, it comes back on. You'll see the viewfinder come up.
Okay.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is that depending on the workflow, who's in the studio, we'll have cameras set up differently. For example, if there are guests in the studio right now, the best three positions are 1, 2, 3, meaning the host seat, the seat to the left, and the seat to the immediate left of the first guest. Those three seats are good because of where the cameras are currently placed.
Okay.
So this camera, if we have three guests, or two, one, if we have a guest, regardless, one or two guests, this camera would be, the camera number 1, that's what this is, would be positioned to get this guest.
This person.
That's right. Now, they're not looking at it. They're just looking at Rob or whoever the host is, okay? So you play around with that a little bit. Okay. Camera number 2, which is this one down here in the corner. Now, the reason I'm saying that these cameras are going to...
numbered and fed into the TriCaster as camera 1, 2, 3, and 4, or...
Yes. So that's camera 1, that's camera 2, that's camera 3, and that one, the host camera is camera 4.
Okay.
All right, so camera 2, this one here in the corner over the speaker, that one is great for getting... All three of those, but mostly those two people. Okay. And you can zoom in and out a little bit to make that shot better. Okay. Camera 3, this one over here in this corner, this is usually zoomed out. It's got a wide angle lens on it, and that gets everybody that's at that end of the table. Okay. Okay. If you have a third guest, and of course that one is always on, the camera 4 is always on the host. Right. Okay. Now, if you have a third guest, you've got the host and 3 guests, you're taking up just around the table here, then what we do is we turn that camera so that you get both this person and that person. Okay. And then this wide angle can get the back of this person, but get that. Okay. And then this one, we still end up having it be those two people. Okay. Now, I'm going to just tell you this for future reference because it's going to happen pretty soon. The camera 1 and camera 2 are going to be moved to this wall. And we're going to put them on motorized pan and tilt heads that you'll be able to operate from next door in front of the TriCaster. Okay. So eventually what we'll end up doing is camera 1 will get the 4th guest and the 5th guest, the far end of that table. Right. Camera 2 would get these two people. Mm-hmm. And then camera 4 would basically get the host. That one will just always be wide angle.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Now, if you only have one guest, do you put them in this seat or this seat?
We put them in the third seat. Okay. Yeah, so that they're talking directly across from Rob.
Gotcha.
Because that's still, of all the position, I mean, this is okay. That position is best. We can get the most shots on the. Now, when we do that, if it's just Rob and this person, then sometimes we'll turn this camera to Rob, and we'll have that camera and that camera on the guest. We got 2 cameras on Rob and 2 cameras on, or 2 cameras on the host, 2 cameras on the guest. Okay. If it's just a host, then
I was just thinking that it would be best to have the person here so that you could get a front view.
Listen,
from there.
If you think that works, that's fine with me because you can also zoom these in a little bit.
Okay.
We'll play with I'm just telling you what we've done till now.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever, but if you want to, whoever's running,
if you want to play around with that a little bit, exactly. Okay. Now, if it's just a host, just by themselves, then we put basically all 4 cameras on the host. So you have that kind of coming from the back angle. You have his regular camera on him. This one can turn this way, and then that one we just leave it on wide angle, but we zoom it in a little bit because it doesn't need to get all the positions. But they're all 4 typically on the host, so you can kind of get just different angles and everything.
When it is just the host, are you just typically using camera 4, or are you okay?
I do usually. I mean, it depends, but usually
depends on what he's doing.
Right.
It's visually appealing.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the most part, Rob's the only one that's really regularly. I and Rob are the only ones that are doing shows where it's just us.
Okay.
For the most part, everyone else is bringing guests in.
Okay.
Now, this computer is set up with IVGA,
Okay.
so we can do a net connection. And what we've been using this for is if somebody has. Early on, we had more people that did not have intros, so we were at least bringing up a slide, like just a splash screen, to start and end the show on. Mm-hmm. And now.
Were those created in PowerPoint or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Daryl Spears also uses them to do commercials. Like he'll pull up the name and address of the companies that he's producing.
So this computer has PowerPoint on it?
It has PowerPoint Reader. It's the same. Okay. It's the same computer we had in the studio. Yeah. The Mac is set up. Yeah, because it's not sitting on the.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably.
So the Mac over here. I can't remember I put IVGA on it. I do want to put IVGA on it, but right now it's just connected to the mixer board. I mean to the preamp, and we have a dedicated telephone line on Skype. So we're going to do this tonight. We can call out or have people call in to be on the show through Skype. We've not tested video, but if we have IVGA on here, there's no reason it shouldn't work.
So we should try to load IVGA on it before tonight because they have Skype guests.
No. We have Skype guests calling in or they're calling out. That
Gotcha.
Works. We know that workflow works.
Gotcha.
So when I come in here, I turn on all the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
I turn on the mixer board, the preamp underneath the table here. There's a little button on the preamp is the second one from the top. So you got the power strip. You can't see it from there.
No.
You got the power strip. Then you've got the preamp. And when you turn the preamp on, it goes blue. There's 8 positions on the preamp. What we normally do is we
turn on the power strip and then turn on.
This is the power strip.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then this is the preamp.
Okay.
And the preamp's got 8 positions on it here.
Okay.
And we normally turn the mics down on the mics we're not using just to minimize the potential of picking up extraneous noise. So, for example, you'll probably see that. You see, mic 5, 6, 7, and 8 are turned off completely.
Okay, you just turn the dials.
Yeah, the dials.
To turn it all the way down.
You bring them up to 36 dB on all the mics except for the host mic. The host mic we take it to 39.
Okay.
The characteristics
today,
of this mic.
Since we're using one, so 1 is the host, right?
That's right.
Okay, that's at the 39. 2 should be at 36.
That's correct.
And 3 should be at 36.
And then you can put 4 to 0.
To 0.
Right. Okay. And then, so then we're set. We're pretty much set in here at that point.
Okay, do we have to turn on microphones or that's all?
That's all on.
Okay.
They're all plugged into the preamp. Once
And
the preamp goes on, the
power
mics are
strips
live.
Stay on for
Yep.
the.
Yep. Some of that's going to get repositioned as we move the cameras.
For the power strip he was talking about. And turn this on, right?
You only need the Mac if you have callers.
Okay.
You know, whether they're coming in through Skype.
But it's on.
Is it on?
I don't know.
No.
So where is that fed into? Is it fed into the mixer here?
Yes. The Mac is the audio from the Mac is fed into the mixer, and the mixer is fed into the Mac. So that if we ever wanted to record an audio file not into the TriCaster, we could do that here. And I haven't tried that workflow since we hooked all this other stuff up. So I don't know what it's like to record.
I'm just wondering, is it set on one of these line mics down here?
No. It's set through a Thunderbolt connection into a completely separate hookup into the preamp.
Okay, and that's being sent automatically.
Yeah, the preamp out is going over to the other mixer.
So this we go in as Glenn Garns or guest user?
Glenn Garns.
And what's the password?
Joker 45. I think it's Joker
Capital
45.
J?
No, just regular old Joker 45. Try that first. If that's not it, then Joker 45, capital G, capital G.
And if you would like to change passwords so that they're studio oriented,
it doesn't.
That's all up to you.
We'll figure that out
But
later.
either way, somebody is going to need to open it, so let's turn on both computers. And then let's launch IVGA on here.
All right, now when you turn on the Mac, you got to exit out. Just cancel that, and then cancel the next one that pops up,
So cancel iCloud. Cancel.
and then you're good from there. Now the only thing
Now,
you'd
do we
need,
have to launch Skype on the Mac?
yes, so scroll down to the bottom with your. There you go. Click on Skype. Now this one I've got to do myself because. So once you launch Skype.
Now,
There it
is
goes.
this hooked up? This is hardwired, right?
All right, let me just hold a minute. So this is VC marketing.
So this is enter the password for Village Connector 2.
Yep, and this is, and I could probably change these, but for now it's
Is this
VC.
lowercase?
Oh, hold a minute, Marketing 002, I think it is. Let's see if that gets us in. There you go. All right, so that's VCM, all capital, but the M is for the word marketing. 002 is the password.
Okay.
So from here,
VCM are capital. The rest of
Marketing,
marketing
yes,
is lowercase
exactly.
and then 002. Okay.
exactly.
And then what are you clicking around on?
So I'm trying to find the.
Now the people, like the guests that are, or the people that are coming in tonight, it's like 3 hosts, right?
No, they've got something else going. That's another thing. They're calling and they're late and all kinds of other things. So
Okay.
let me finish with Darlene and then we'll figure out what we're doing with
Okay.
the rest.
I'm
of it.
just wondering, when they normally come in, do you have to like send requests to the people they're going to have on the show, or?
Well, this is their first time doing it, so Rob just calls his guests when he's ready for them
Okay.
to be on the show.
But he could log in from his
Right
account too, right? So somebody could set up their own Skype.
I
log-
prefer that they not, only because
Okay.
I don't want them receiving phone calls in the middle. I know
Okay.
that the only person who'll be on this line is the person we call.
Okay.
Because nobody
Yeah.
else knows
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
So when you click on here,
Uh huh.
this is the dial pad, and then you just dial the number, and
Okay.
boom, you're good to go.
So next to the search bar, you click on the little
This little
number
grid here.
pad.
Call phones and numbers, enter touchdown.
Okay.
And I prefer to call out rather than having them call in.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That makes sense. So we
yeah.
just have to make sure that
Yeah, no,
people that are going to be using that feature on their show have the contact person's phone
Telephone
number
number,
ahead
that's
of
right.
time. Okay.
and some people might want to get the person on the phone and let them be sitting there on hold. And I mean, like on hold, they can listen to what's going on, so they
right.
can get in
If
the flow of
they're
the show.
the first person and they're
Right.
just introducing
Rob
it.
has a tendency to call the person when he's ready for them to be on the show, which is
Right.
also fine because most of them are usually watching the show
Right,
on Facebook
yeah.
while they're waiting for his call.
Okay. Sounds
So.
good.
All right?
And then everybody wears the headphones that's seated in here
Yes,
on the
preferably.
program. Okay.
But at least the host,
okay.
because we now have the ability to talk to the host through the switcher.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, through the mixer.
Yep.
So, all right, so let's go ahead and get in here. This password changed. Let me see what it is.
See why I wanted to run all through all those?
Yep.
with you?
And so this password is Joker45.
Okay.
And that one's Joker45, capital G, capital G. So when you get in here to launch
IVGA.
IVGA, you look here. This is the icon for it. Can you see that, Nolan?
Yeah.
Can you see it, Anthony? This
I
is
would,
this program is what connects us to the TriCaster.
And it says, what does it say? New Tech IVGA Pro.
Right.
Can you
So-
put it down at the bottom in the taskbar to make it easy to find? Or no?
I don't know if I don't think you can do that until it goes down here. I don't know if it'll stay down the taskbar, but let me try.
You right click and you
Okay, it's down there
select
now.
pin.
Yeah.
Well, that's only when it's open. When it's closed, it
The
won't
only
say
thing is I didn't mean to do that
Yeah,
because I
don't
have to
open it
run it
that
as
way.
you have to run it as administrator.
Okay, just go down there and hit and exit out of it, and let's relaunch it for everyone's. There you go.
Okay, so you're gonna right click on it, and you're gonna click on Run as Administrator.
Yes, that.
Click to Yes, and right now we've got no TriCaster shown.
The TriCaster's off, so
Right.
once we start up the TriCaster, it will recognize. I think it'll see TCXD1 or TriCaster
Right.
1 and TriCaster 2.
So under destination, it'll show the TriCaster 1 and 2. And under here where it says video source, generic, just leave that. We want to turn audio source to none. We're not pulling audio from this, at least not at this point. Okay, so IVGA Pro, destination will be the TriCaster. You'll see that when we turn the TriCaster on. Video source, leave it set to generic PNP monitor. And then audio source, set it to none. There's like a drop down of several different audio choices. We don't want audio coming in, so we're just going to set that to none.
And what we'll do is once we turn on the TriCaster, we'll come over here and we'll select the destination.
Okay.
And so both these laptops are hardwired. That's good.
Yep, everything's hardwired now.
All right, I can try to do the TriCaster part.
Okay, and no one can tell you what we did and how we've done it in the past.
But I want to go over like setting up the stream and stuff too. And I know that you're the person that's been doing all that.
Yeah.
But if other people are going to,
Come on in.
if other people are going to do that,
All right, hold on a minute. Let me just.
I do want to teach them.
All right. So when we launch the TriCaster,
This is the button right here.
the toggle switch, the black toggle switch, not
So you
that
just
red
push
button.
the circle.
Then back here on the mixer, there's two buttons. One is phantom power, and the one that's closest to the AC out or AC in turns the power on. You want to turn that on.
And you'll see the one come up in red on there.
We turn on this microphone.
And
I'll
change
show
the
you-
batteries.
Yep,
Like
change the batteries.
before you turn those two on. And that's the,
It's 11, 12.
okay, so
That's
it's,
the row.
okay.
This 3 is the feed from the next room, okay? And then we've got aux out going into the other room. So the slider for this microphone that we can talk to the other side should always be set. 11, 12 should be set to 0, and it should be set to pre-fader. So that's what that pre button is. If you need to turn your microphone off, like if you don't want to hear people, if you're talking to someone, you don't want them to hear you, you either turn this all the way down or just mute your mic, whichever is easier for you.
Okay. Turn which one all the way down?
11, 12,
The
you turn
aux?
the number one aux button. Yeah.
Okay. All the way
Turn
down.
it all the way down. I think it's safer just to mute the mic.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're only using that for the most part at the beginning and end of the
Right.
show.
To let them know when their intro's over and it's coming to them.
Right, exactly.
Okay. And that was the Sennheiser, the black ones that don't
Yeah.
have a color on them.
Well, it could be any one, but for now we're leaving that one plugged in
Okay.
there.
Just
okay.
so we have that.
So once the TriCaster comes on, you select Radio Studio. And then, now, I don't know how much you want to get into detail about doing, importing assets and all that kind of stuff. Let's start at least let me just show them how to get IVGA started. And
That's
then
fine.
if you need to go back out and start over, because we
Okay,
could make these
yeah.
each sections of a book.
Yeah.
So the TriCaster, you click on Radio Room, and then you click on Start Live Broadcast, and this should come up pretty quickly. Now sometimes when you try to connect IVGA, it goes wonky on you. It usually means you need to exit back out of this session and reboot that computer until you get it to recognize. But the net connections, net 1 and 2, that's TXD1, TXD2 that you'll see over there. So what you do is you click on receive over here. You see this? Can you see it from where I am?
Yep.
Okay, so when you mouse over the net connection, you click on receive, you'll see new HP, and it should come right up. Okay.
Yep. And so
now
that's
if we
the
go over
laptop.
there, and let's go and do it. Let's go next door real quick.
Technically, it made that decision for you. So
Yes.
we chose net 1. Had we clicked on net 2
Hey, Charlene, how you doing?
and chose the new HPs, it would have automatically put it
Okay.
on
So
net
now when we come down here,
2. I know.
it's connected. So when you click on destination, you don't really have to do this, but I just do it just to be safe. So we just click on that. You see how there's two selections there? So we select the first one, and then you just close this, and it's still running down
runs
here
in
in the
the
taskbar.
background.
Yeah.
But it
That-
tells you in the corner here, if you ever needed to exit it and relaunch it, you click on the arrow down here and see it's running the blue stripes. It's like striping, so that means it's running. But you would have to right click on it down here and hit exit in order to relaunch it. Otherwise, it just continues to run in the background.
Yep, and we just leave it running until it's time to turn the computer off.
Okay.
Now, what that means is anything you can pull up on this computer screen can be seen on the TriCaster, and you can go to that as if it was a camera.
So the internet, a graphic.
So let me show you what we normally do. We've got a couple folders on here. One for Rob Brown.
On the desktop?
Yep, and there's one for, so let's just say we wanted to, I'm just going to use this one. I'm just opening up a PowerPoint slide deck that we created. There's one for Daryl too. I don't see it.
So in theory, the host should have all these created and ready to go on a thumb drive when they come in, and you just plug it into the thumb drive.
And we're going to
Right.
clean all this stuff up so that there's a folder for each of our hosts.
Now, in terms of PowerPoint specs, do you give them any special specs in terms of slide size and all
Should
that?
be 16:9 or the widescreen.
Landscape 16:9
is how
aspect
they should
ratio.
be created.
Yeah. So here's the slides, and once Reader opens up, you click on Menu, and you're going to go full screen, and then you come down here and you just make sure you select full screen so that the menu bar doesn't show. Okay. Now if we go next door, that's all
That's
we'll
what
see in the
we'll
menu.
see.
You know. And then they can change their slides by just hitting the back and the forward and back buttons. You look mighty sharp there.
And people can wear green.
Yep.
Sorry, that's exciting for me. Oh, and the TV screen above the TriCaster monitor, the power button's right up here. It's the first button.
Okay, now let me make a suggestion.
Yeah.
If you can focus your attention on just the TriCaster operations, no one knows how to launch the stream from here. I'll come back in and do that after I speak with Darlene.
Like launch the stream by clicking on stream, or set it up. You know how to set it up?
It doesn't need to be set. Well, you need to teach the setup, yeah, but you can show them, where stuff goes, where the stream key gets, and we'll cover the stream key stuff. I can actually do that in a separate.
Before this person, right?
Yeah,
Because
but it's all set up.
Set it up for them, right?
Well, it's already set up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Gotcha.
saying. Don't worry about it. I'll be in to do that. You're not going to run that by yourself tonight.
So what does the stream say?
What do you mean? What does it say?
Like, I mean, eventually, like, okay, we're shooting a show today, and something that's important is like, is this a regular show? And they come in often.
Yeah. So when you come in, when you log into Switchboard, you'll give the show the name. It'll say subject or whatever. And I usually have Live Today Health Talk Radio hyphen on the Village Connector Community Network. Then you select education as the subject matter. Unless it's a business show, none of the other categories apply to anything we do. It's either education or business. And then in the bottom, there's a line to put to title it. I say join, whoever the guests, whoever the hosts are, join Rob Brown for Book Lovers Only for entertaining interviews with authors and reviews of awesome amazing books.
Okay, so my goal and something that I was thinking about is we should be labeling these either by the topic of the show or episode. Like in the TriCaster, are you recording them while you're airing them?
Yes, and
Okay.
so we use the FBLO and then the date.
So for book
No
lovers
spaces.
only.
Yeah, FBLO 032617.
Okay.
Live Today Health Talk is whatever the first initials of that are in the date.
How are you archiving them though? Because don't you think that it would be better to put episode 1, or you're doing all that when you're posting it somewhere
Yeah,
else?
it's actually better for us to have the date it was produced right now.
Okay.
That works out just fine for us because once you're done recording, we immediately come in here, we put it on a hard drive, and we upload it to our YouTube channel, our new YouTube channel, and then we post it on Village Connector Community Radios and Village Connector TV's pages on villageconnector.com.
Well, then with this show, I kind of want to follow it all the way through. So that means when they're done recording, if we take the first one and do it, or we can
Now
do
that now it's going to be
another
a little
day.
bit wonky today because we're going to be recording 2 or 3 episodes, and we're only going to be live streaming the first one.
Right.
So we're going to shut the stream down, and then we're going to record 2 or 3 more episodes,
Okay.
and those are just going to be recorded. So in that case, if we're recording multiple episodes, it would be the date, and then 01, 02, 03.
Okay. Because that's where I want to be consistent as far as
Oh, yeah.
like titling and naming for organization
I agree.
purposes and for everybody to have a system.
I agree.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so can you take it from here?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to go finish my meeting with Darlene, and I'll be around so that when it's time to
What show are we about to tape?
Live Today Health Talk.
Okay, do we need to talk to them? I mean-
kind of, but not all hear you.
Okay, Live Today.
Live Today Health Talk, and no one's familiar with this part. You might want to ask him some questions. He's the producer of the show.
Okay.
Oh, you're the producer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I wrote notes. I write notes on everything. I have a piece of paper. I need a book. I am so out of it. I need to bring just one. It's fine.
If you hit the
That's fine.
recording, once it's recording, if you hit the record button and put it back to just blinking,
It'll stop.
it'll stop, but it won't. It won't. It'll keep. You can go right.
Turn this back on. All right.
So this show doesn't have an intro, and so they just have a graphic that's in load into a TriCaster. I think these are both the same. No, that's not there. So we have this is we start and end on this screen. So
Mhm.
we'll just start on this and we'll go to camera 4. There's
Okay,
nothing
so,
too interesting about it.
The way that and you know, I'm sure that you know parts of this. Obviously, you know that you can click on all these. So, what are all of these set for? Is this Rob's
This is
current
Rob's-
opening?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What's this one?
I think it's the same thing.
Okay. So you can label each DDR has 12 slots
Yeah.
on both sides. So what I want to do is organize it. So, like for book lovers only is the first one. So if you right click on it and you hit rename, go ahead and type FBLO. So now Rob's show for book lovers only will be number 1.
Okay.
And number 2, since this is a repeat, we're just gonna right click on it and hit remove. Now it's empty.
Okay. This is TLCI.
TLCI. So let's cut that and let's put it in number 2. And paste. And rename TLCI.
Okay.
All right. And then what's in 4?
4 is this is Daryl Spears show, so it's ECU. How do I name it? Oh.
So right click rename. Up.
Move it up first.
Oh no, that's right. EC, what is it? Elite
Yeah.
Conversations
Unplugged.
Unplugged. So ECU. Okay, so hit enter. Okay, so that's number 4. 5.
This is Health Talk Radio.
Let's move them to 3, just so that we're
Okay.
filling them up. So just right click on this one and hit cut. And then click on number 3 over there and hit paste. And then let's rename number 3. And theirs is actually live,
Oh yes.
right? Whatever he said it was. What's the abbreviation for that?
LTHT.
Okay. And then what's in 6?
I think
Looks like a
this is- yeah,
duplicate.
yeah.
Okay, so click on 6. Let's clean that out. Right click and just hit delete. There you go. 7, same thing as a repeat. Right click. Now, if you see this icon here, so what we probably did there is we brought it in off of a thumb drive, which you can plug into the front of the TriCaster and import images. I'll show you how to do that. But when you unplugged like because we didn't put it on the computer, it was just pulling it directly off the thumb drive. When we unplugged the thumb drive, it automatically disconnected it. So the media, the icon is still there, but it's not connected. So you can just click it and delete it.
Let's see. I guess this is just Village Connector Radio.
Right. So VCM, let's move that up.